All right. Hey everyone. Ryan from Ebike Escape, and we are back with another live unboxing. I have the Gen3, a new company to me. I'm pretty sure new just in general. We have their Stride model, as you can see here, and it is a step-thru frame. And so very interested to check this bike out. If you're watching this after the fact or even during, if you are looking to purchase one of these electric bikes, please consider using the link in the description, help support Ebike Escape. And I do believe they now sell these at Best Buy, which is kind of interesting. Aventon is another brand that they recently put on Best Buy's website. So that's kind of interesting. Not sure what the experience looks like from Best Buy's perspective, but interesting nonetheless. In the description, I'll also have links to our electric bike accessories list and our top e-bike brands page, and finally our electric bike discounts code page, where I track all the deals happening on electric bikes. And yeah, this is a little bit of a smaller box. I would say taller, but maybe not as wide as some bikes that I've received. I can't remember the shipping weight on here. Let's go see if I could see it. I think it's a little bit of a lighter bike. I'm not sure, actually. We'll have to maybe go back. When I do my full review, I always talk about the weight of these electric bikes. And one of the reasons that I do unbox these live is, one, because I have to set it up anyway, and two, it's a great opportunity to connect with the audience. If you have any questions, you can feel free to ask them in the comment section. I will do my best to answer them, not only on this electric bike, but really any e-bike that you might be considering purchasing. Let's see here. So let's see what they have included here. We have the Welcome to the Club, registering your bike, enjoy a 1-year warranty, schedule assembly, and contact them with any questions. When in doubt, refer to your manual. Just all sorts of basics information here. I do believe this bike is priced at $14.99. We'll just go through the accessories box here. Got some metal pedals, pretty common on electric bikes in this price point. Usually you don't find anything fancy really on any electric bike, at least in my experience. Okay, looks like we have a quick release skewer here. And we have a Stride Gen3, manual. Goes through all their models. I'll actually just talk about those quickly since they're right here. So they have the Flex, which is basically, from my understanding, this bike, but in a high step, the Stride, which we'll get into here shortly, the Groove, which is a folding electric bike, and then the Outcross. I don't think many electric bike companies are complete without having a fat tire electric bike. So it looks like there's a lot of information in here about assembly and installing the stem. They have pictures as well. So also information about the display, which that's usually what I use the manual for. One, to look at the battery, to make sure that you're following all of the specs and balancing your battery if need be. Oh, you have some tools. Definitely a little bit different tools, or at least they're just more of a bronze color, I guess, if you will. And lastly, we have the charger here. This is the D-Power charger that I see on many electric bikes, 2-amp charger, about what you'd expect on electric bikes. And again, if you are just joining us, please feel free to ask any questions in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them. Let's go ahead and pull out a couple of the foam pieces maybe first. right, maybe put these a little bit further away. All right, I think we're ready to lift the bike out. Get my assistant here.
Uh-huh.
All right, let me know when you're ready. Should be a little bit lighter than some of the heavier fat tire bikes. All right, let's go behind the box. Oh yeah, you can definitely tell this bike is lighter.
Yeah.
You can move that box out of the way. Thank you. All right, so here it is. Packaged pretty nicely. Box arrived in really good condition, I would say. I'll go ahead and start taking off the packaging. It's kind of a pearl white, kind of a cool color in my opinion. Of course, Gen3 is a new company, so excited to kind of see what they have decided to bring to the market. Actually, I'm going to take off the front wheel here.
Do you need anything else?
I'm all set, thank you. Looks like we have the front fender. Rear fender is already installed. These are definitely city style tires, narrower, I'm guessing 2 inches. Plastic fenders. Go. So this bike definitely fits into a pretty good price, in my opinion, $1,500 at least on paper from what I've seen, what you get for the price. Type of packaging I haven't really, usually they use like this kind of foam, but not typically everywhere. Double walled chainring here. Yeah, I would love to hear in the comments if you own an electric bike. Are you looking at an electric bike? Did you get a Black Friday deal? There were tons of deals, and I think a handful of them are still going on. Lots of companies starting their sales early. I believe Gen3 maybe had a sale. I can't remember if they made it on the list or not. I'd have to go back and check. So we have a lot of bikes on the way or already here and awaiting to do a review. I unboxed the Rusher XF900 fat tire bike the other day. We've got E-Spin Nesta in the garage. That needs to be unboxed and set up. We've got the Himiway Cruiser. Need to do that review. Let's see, what else do we have? We have the Pasolac GS9 Plus, I want to say. Still working on getting that bike up and running. Have to do some derailleur work before I can go out and give it a test ride. And yeah, a couple video, 2-3 videos already filmed and just waiting to be published once the editing gets finished up. So excited for those to come out. So definitely you'll be seeing a lot of reviews in the coming weeks. And we are in Wisconsin, so I'm hoping that the weather holds out. And so I can continue to ride. Of course, I will need to get these reviews out, so it's more of just picking the nicest day and wearing the right gear. Saw that we had a comment here. A lot of Chinese e-bike companies popping out everywhere. Never heard about this brand. Yeah, Luke, I'm not certain if this is a direct to U.S. Chinese brand. From my interactions, I would say no, but I could very well be wrong. Especially when I saw them on the Best Buy website. Like that doesn't seem to me like it's a company. I mean, I feel like you kind of have to maybe, I don't know. I don't know how Best Buy works or if they're becoming more of a platform and it's easy to sell products on there now to get distribution. I'm not sure. But I guess we'll see. But yeah, definitely a new company, and yeah, the price point seems about right for what you get, and it's always nice to have more options, of course. So thought it was worth reviewing one of their models when they reached out to me. And so far, it looks like a really nice bike. Of course, they asked me what bike I wanted to review, and initially they kind of wanted the Flex bike, which is the high step model, but I really was hoping to review the step-thru. Just find that they're perhaps more interesting to the demographic who's currently purchasing electric bikes. And it's also good because I'm a little bit taller, so it's nice to get an idea if I mean, most often a shorter person is going to be able to ride these step-thru bikes, and I can showcase that. But also, how do these bikes feel for a taller person just wanting some accessibility? Yep. So as Luke pointed out, we have the nicely integrated battery, and I want to say this is a 14 amp hour battery. Actually, it is not. It is a 48 volt 10.4 amp hour battery, so a little bit on the smaller side, but you do see that capacity sometimes. And I don't know, I'd be very interested to hear like what people actually, like how many people are actually putting their ranges on their bikes to the test. Of course, there are people who are commuting or doing long commutes or perhaps going on kind of longer adventures. But I think for the most part, a lot of people are just using these as a fun activity, going 10 to 20 miles, which almost every e-bike can do. Nice little protector up here by the fork. I think what I'm going to do is maybe rotate this light. Actually have it pre-installed. Go ahead and grab my little top peak ratchet rocket here, which is conveniently in the same place from my last unboxing. All right. So, and I'll use this time to say that I am not a bike mechanic, so this is not a tutorial. Definitely look at those instructions or have a professional bike shop assemble your electric bike. I almost feel like with this light, I'm going to have to take it completely out in order to get the front wheel on. I think they do that for packaging, kind of mount it completely out of the way, but then you kind of have to unscrew it before you start. But that's not a big deal anyway, because I actually have to install the fenders. So I think in an ideal world, I would install the fender first, assuming it doesn't mount to the fork. And then after that, install the tire. But that would only really be if I had this in a stand. So I will go ahead and screw this light on just quickly here, just to get it in place. I really like the look of this. Kind of never know what you expect when you get a white bike, but this is a nice pearl white. I think a lot of people would think this looks pretty sharp. Mechanical disc brakes, obviously. Looks like a Shimano shifter. And I think I'll go ahead and put that front wheel on. And again, if you are joining me now, feel free to ask any questions about any electric bike. If you're considering buying one, happy to give you advice. The only thing I ask is if it's one of the brands that has an affiliate program that you just use my link that really helps me out, and so I can continue to review electric bikes. We have a 180 millimeter disc. These are 26 by 1.75 inch tires, so definitely on the thinner side. Go ahead and install that front skewer. These are traveler tires called City Classic All Season Compound by CST, which is a brand that you see very often on electric bikes. I feel like I usually see them on fat tire e-bikes because the branding is just bigger, but they probably are on thinner tires as well. Got the Gen3 text and logo on the down tube, I guess. Well, there's no top tube because it is a step-thru. Bottle cage bosses on the seat tube. Double walled chainring. I want to say it's a 500 watt motor, but to be honest, I haven't looked at the specs recently. So if someone feels compelled to put those in the description, that might be helpful. If not, no big deal. There is a spacer here for the discs because you want to avoid hitting the brakes when the wheel isn't installed. All right, I think I got these handlebars out of the way enough, maybe. I like to do is sometimes drape the handlebars over that. Does have front suspension. We'll get a sense of how that feels. Went in there nice and easy. I'm almost not used to seeing like forks this narrow because usually e-bikes just have wider tires. Definitely set up for the city. Does have a lockout on that front fork. Not sure if it has a brand. Maybe. And we have some higher end e-bikes coming, or at least one, I should say. We've got the V-Volt Sirius coming. That's going to be an awesome bike to review. I'm really excited for that. Just because it's a mid-drive and haven't really delved too much into the higher end stuff a lot. And obviously I know not everyone's looking for the most affordable bikes. Just looking at the brand here. Partner is it looks like what it says, but all right, let's get the kickstand down so I can stand up the bike. This is about what you expect on pretty much any e-bike or most e-bikes as far as assembling goes. We'll need to loosen up. Let's see, look at the comments here. Dennis says, hello, enjoy your unboxing. I have a Hemingway Cruiser, Rad City, Rad Mission, Rad Runner, Ride 1 Up 500 series, and a Ride 1 Up Roadster. Are those all your electric bikes? That's quite the collection. I thought I had a lot of e-bikes, but you definitely have a lot. Rad Runner Plus owner here, and 2 custom DIY Bethane kit. And Dennis has a Saunders Mega Cycle, but it's is it? I thought it was the Mad Mods. I could be wrong on that. I haven't paid that much attention, so maybe you could clarify that model. I'm guessing it's a cadence sensor. Let's see. It's hard to tell. Sensor might be on the other side. Yeah, it's a cadence sensor, without a doubt. There's not too many affordable bikes out there that have torque sensors, and I kind of wish there were. Ride 1 Up was one of the few companies that at least I'm aware of when they came out with the Limited. That was a torque sensor, and I really liked that bike. And then they moved it to a cadence sensor. So I feel like for me, I really enjoy having the, feeling like it's more of you. I don't know, I guess Specialized uses that branding. Like it's you only faster, something like that. And that's what a torque sensor really is, because the more effort you put in, the more the motor helps. And I think a lot of people who might hop on a cadence sensor e-bike and then hop on a torque sensor e-bike, they might kind of feel like the torque sensor one is underpowered, when in the reality it's actually not. It's just the fact that the way the motor is engaging is a lot different. So you have to work a little bit to get the motor to help you more. So definitely a user preference. Let's see here. The Mega Cycle. Oh, I think Mad Mods is what I think he's So I think Dennis is getting Saunders Mega Cycle. I'm assuming you're meaning the Mad Mods. Anyway, I've seen those bikes a few times on YouTube. They look really cool. They're heavy, but they look really cool. I haven't actually hopped on any of the Saunders bikes. I think the Rockstar looks really cool. And they seem to be fairly big company. I just am less familiar with them than other companies. And I have plenty of e-bikes to review, so it's not like I necessarily need more to review. Though when compelling ones come up, like this Gen 3, I do obviously like to review them. There are companies now that I am turning down reviews for just because there's either not anything special about the bike, or the price point really isn't where it should be, or it just seems like it's a bike that's kind of already offered and kind of not a copycat per se, or I guess it could be, but not necessarily. So I'm just taking out the stem faceplate here, and we'll get these handlebars installed. Take a look at the cockpit, and then fender, and I'm a little bit curious how that. I didn't see another bolt for that fender, so I'm not sure how that's going to go on. We'll see. All right, I think I got these cables right, all going on the correct side. Try to get these centered. Some nice lines for me to use as a guide. It's looking pretty good. You do get locking grips with this bike. Stands out. A nice minimalistic, I would say, LCD display over here on the left side. So it leaves plenty of room for handlebars, mounted accessories. You've got Gen 3 branded brakes, which is kind of interesting. Usually you don't see branding on the brakes of the actual e-bike company. So I think our next review will be on the Velotric Discover 1. That was a Indiegogo campaign. right, tighten these down. See if I can adjust these slightly so I don't have to adjust them again when I go out and do my review. These grips feel really nice, I would say. I'm gonna go with about, that feels pretty good. I feel like these brakes are gonna have to be adjusted down where they're kind of wonky, in a wonky position. We've got the Shimano Sys Index, which is the Shimano thumb shifter 7-speed over here on the right side. Let's see here. What else we got up here? Got a bell on the left-hand side. Really like that. Always nice to have a bell to alert people, especially if you're on like a multi-use path. There's that bell. Maybe leaves a little bit to be desired, the bell sound. Actually, I think it's probably because I think it's hitting the display. That's why it sounds so dull. That makes sense. All right, I think these are tight enough, and yeah, feels pretty good. All right. Okay, let's see here. Let's maybe finish taking these off. I'll look at the comments here. I miss Bionics. Those were some awesome company and the best pedal sensor I've ever felt. Oh, the Metacycle. Oh, I don't know who Bionics is. Maybe you guys can share that. It must be a company that was maybe before I started reviewing electric bikes. So Dennis is getting the Metacycle, so that makes more sense. That is the electric motorcycle. That is super cool. I'm excited for you. I think they're priced at like $5,000 or something. That's pretty neat. Very cool. What is this little tag showing me? Oh, that's pretty funny. So they are showing... this is the first time I've seen this, but this little tag here says, the function of the rear derailleur protector is to prevent the external force from squeezing the rear derailleur during transportation and use. So a lot of times what can happen in packaging, and there's a few scratches on the derailleur protector, but it's really like a bash guard. So a lot of times what can happen in shipping is this gets bent into the derailleur, and then you think that your derailleur isn't working, but it's actually just the protector that's preventing it from moving here. So they are using a Bafang motor. It says 500 in the kind of the stamp on here, so I'm going to guess it's a 500 watt motor that peaks higher than that. So that's cool that they're using. I don't think I've tested out this size of a Bafang motor, at least one that was outwardly branded as Bafang. So that's pretty cool. Let's go ahead and put the pedals on quickly. They are labeled nicely, left and right. Of course, that right one is going to go on nice and easy. Let's see here. And yeah, if you have any questions, I know some people join in the middle. So this is the Gen3 Stride. There will be a link in the description if you are looking to purchase one of these bikes. And yeah, if you have any other questions, let me know in the comments. And I usually just do these live to interact with the audience a little bit, answer any questions that I can. Get these pedals on, right one threads righty-tighty. Nice that it comes with the rear rack. Integrated tail light. No, actually not an integrated tail light. That is the external blaze light. Located on the back of the rack. Nice sturdy rack. Has some pannier hangers. Got the charger port over here on the left side towards the bottom. Let's see what else. There is a battery capacity button. I wonder if it's completely dead. I wouldn't think so, but doesn't want to turn on, that's for sure. There might be an on-off switch. Sometimes that can happen. There we go. Maybe. Battery is showing full. All green. Can't imagine I have to turn the battery on with a key, but maybe. On the left side, looks like their logo is upside down. I'm not sure if that's intentional or not. Maybe that's why they sent me this one. I'm not sure. Let's see. See if I can get this bike turned on, maybe. So unless there's a separate, it's a different display than I'm used to, which don't think this is a re-engine pack. Nice integrated wiring though into the down tube here. And yeah, I guess I'm not sure why it didn't bike is in, or battery rather is in. I might have to read the instructions. That's always a good place to start. Because when I push this battery button, it shows green. So I'm assuming that's that actually shows that it's half full. But yeah, there's no, that's interesting. I'll have to do some more looking on that. Okay, let's see. Maybe we will work on that front light and fender. Let's see. Okay, let's see what we're working with this fender. I do like that the mounting points are on the actual fork. Now I'm guessing this front fender is going to actually mount right to where the light is, so that's nice and easy. Go ahead and do these first. And then we'll be almost done. I will have some adjustments to do at the front of the bike. So integrated front light, external rear light. That's perhaps something they can add in the future. And that brand, actually, the Blaze Light, they do sell one that is integrated. So I wonder if it has something to do with the frame or something like that. These are, looks like unbranded, or they're Gen 3 branded mechanical disc brakes. We'll see how those perform when I do my full review. Trying to figure out if this should go on the outside of the brake line or inside. I want to say maybe outside. All right, one more to go. I always like when the fenders go on nice and easy like this. All right. Go with the fender behind the light, I guess. See, we got that in there. All right, let's see. How much is that particular bike, says Harold? So this is the Gen 3 Stride, currently priced at $1,500. I'm not sure if they're still running their Black Friday sale or not. Luke says, I wish belt drive would get more popular, bring the price down on internal transmission. Why are we still using chains in 2021? I don't disagree with that. I really like the belt drives. I think they are a lot of fun. I love the no maintenance perspective on them. And this little washer here. And yeah, so that's one of the reasons I'm pretty excited to review the V-Volt. All of their bikes are belt drive, I want to say. And yeah, and then that's kind of the one thing that got me a little bit excited about, you know, the Ride One Up Roadster V2, KBO Hurricane, both belt drive electric bikes. And they aren't geared, obviously. So I think where the expense comes in are those NVOLO, you know, hubs. And so that's kind of what's keeping the price significantly higher. I'm not sure how much they cost, but that is my guess. But yes, and I mean, it would be great if other companies, you know, offered something competitive to the NVOLOs. There might be other companies out there that do. I'm just not familiar with them. And the NVOLOs are the only ones I've tested. But they're really great, especially for like people new to e-bikes and stuff. And then if you step up to the Serial 1 e-bikes, those are automatic shifting, which is even, I feel like even a little bit, obviously that adds to the price, but you literally just hop on it and start riding, and it's a lot of fun. So I think I know why perhaps the display wasn't going on. It looks like one of these cables wasn't connected, and I thought it was the for the headlight, but I don't think it is, so I'm gonna guess that's why. Get this nice and tight so it doesn't move around on me when I start riding. Okay, connect this. Usually there's just a nice arrow here. And there we go. Let's see if this works. There we go. Now we got the display going. Okay, so it is a monochrome display, so black and white, if you will. Turn on the light with the front light or with the pedal assist up button. It does have battery capacity, 5 bars, and let's see what else we have. Odometer, pedal assist, 1 through 5. And we have, let's see what else. The display is definitely on the smaller side. I'm going to actually leave the light on so I can see it better. Odometer, trip time, and that's it. Just those 3 settings. Let's see if there's any advanced settings here. Oh, there is. The problem is when you go into this, I can turn the backlight all the way up. I'm definitely going to do that. Miles per hour. Some of these displays are a little bit tricky as far as like understanding what each of the settings mean. And there was a recent display that on a bike that I was reviewing where you had to go into the advanced settings, and then like you had to hold 2 other buttons down to get into the more advanced settings, if you will. And it was like a different button combination, I want to say. Yeah, this is the same. So that's a password, it looks like. Oh, maybe you have to put in a password to get into it. I don't know. Anyway, I'm sure I think it's a class 2 electric bike. And so 20 miles per hour. It does have a left-hand thumb throttle, a different thumb throttle than I've seen on many electric bikes. We'll see how it performs, obviously, in my review, but seems pretty powerful. So that throttle feels pretty good to press. And yeah, I think I'm gonna move these brakes down just slightly. Check your messages here. Drive ring in the front is too small. Looks like 48 tooth, 50 tooth max. Yeah, it's it doesn't say on here, but I would agree it does look on the smaller side. Pro wheel. It's always kind of a pain to count these, but I'll include that in my full review. But this might even be a 42 tooth. And then in the back, I'm going to guess that this is a 14 to 28. I'm not 100%. I'm calling these out without counting them, but I'm guessing that's what we have in the rear. Shimano tourney, rear derailleur, 7 speeds, as I mentioned. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and actually, let's see. These brakes are just completely in the way. Angle them down a ways. That feels pretty even. A little bit higher. I'll go with that. I'm not too particular when I ride. There's the much nicer sounding bell. All right, let's see here. And there we go. I'm just going to make sure this is, I think that looks pretty straight. And make sure these are all tight. Let's see. And yeah, we'll be wrapping this up shortly. So if you have any other questions, let me know in the comment section. Happy to answer them. Happy to talk about anything related to electric bikes. Otherwise, so yeah, stay tuned for the full review of this bike. I want the Ford actually. There's a nice little torque wrench on here, which is convenient on this Topic ratchet rocket. There we go. All right. Let's just make sure that these grips feel pretty nice. Locking grips. Brakes feel good. Take the plastic off that shifter. So yeah, nothing swept back as far as the handlebars go. Go ahead and maybe put the seat at its highest point. Of course, I always recommend if you want additional comfort, definitely check out our electric bike accessories list, which is in the description below. We have a few listed suspension seat posts on there. Oh yeah, this is going to be, I think, plenty tall for me. And then, of course, beyond that, you can get a nicer seat. This one feels about average, I would say. I assume a lot of people would prefer something a little bit more cushy, obviously personal preference. So yeah, this is a nice looking bike. And yeah, I'm excited to see what it can do. Review will be out hopefully in the next few weeks. Let's feel the suspension. Feels pretty good. Definitely going to help a little bit. Rear rack, $1,500, Bafang motor. Entry level components as far as shifting goes. You see that a lot at this price point. They tried a little bit with the cable wrapping. Would have liked to see a rear integrated light, but maybe not a huge deal. I'll go ahead and pop that off, and there should be a button. It does have a nice switch. That's kind of cool. All right, last chance to get your questions in before we wrap this up, appreciate everyone who watched live. It's always fun to have a chat. Luke says beautiful color. I would agree. Okay. I think that's it. We're going to end the live stream. We'll be doing another live stream maybe this week still on the eSpin Nesta, another one I'm very curious to check out. So yeah, thanks for watching. Check out the links in the description to help support the channel. Really appreciate that. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one.